Check this out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's good. So, don't touch the new paint. All right. Perfect. So if you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and consider subscribing if you do. Today is going to be an amazing day. Actually, an amazing several days for me, because I am not in the body shop anymore. I am in South Florida at E3 Customs, because this is going to be the day where we put in the interior. And not a moment too soon, because this interior is looking, well, there's no interior in this car. However, since there's gonna be a lot of work done to this car, and yes, I am gonna be doing a lot of the work, there's gonna be a lot of time where I'm just working on a car, and it's kind of boring, to be honest. So that's where today's sponsor comes in. All right, I'm back in my garage because I need to make an important point. And don't worry that the car is here with its doors and its windshield on. The timeline of this video doesn't exactly make any sense. The point is, when I'm working on projects like that one, or I probably should have put a cover on that one. When you're working on all of these, it does tend to get a little bit boring. But not anymore, because of today's sponsor, Cove speakers. Now, you guys have known that I use these speakers pretty much every day. I have two of these guys. These are the commuter speakers, and they're wireless Bluetooth, and they make an amazing sound. They have this awesome little subwoofer down here, and they have a volume control knob up here. It's very, very simple. I love the styling, and the sound quality is excellent. But Cove also have this Strive headset. They're wireless, they're Bluetooth, and they sound awesome. Now, you can just use a regular micro USB to charge these things, and a cool little feature is that you can have two of these on either side of your garage, and you can have surround sound if your phone can connect to two Bluetooth devices like most phones can. So definitely go ahead and click the link in the video description below, and with my code you get 65% off any of these products. They're really good. I love using this. I use this every single day. You can tell because it's a little bit used. And speaking of used, let's get back to the interior shop where I magically do a door delete. So let's begin. You're meeting me here in a very loud shop because, of course, it's South Florida and it's very, very hot. But what's really hot is that car right there. Look at it. It actually looks a lot better than I remember. The paint is just, it's just so nice. But the people that are helping me make the interior nice are E3 Customs. Those guys right there. That's a really cool logo, and that's a really cool graffiti band art thing. But the owner is Matt, and you guys will have known him for the last video, and he's been doing a lot of work on this, well, hopefully this car, but a lot of work on the interior on this car. So can we go see it?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah.
So,
oh, dude. Oh my gosh. Dude, this is crazy. This is absolutely nuts.
yeah, there's a couple little things that we didn't really take pictures of or show before. One of which, you know, little details like leather wrapping the actual cranks.
How did you do that? Because I know leather doesn't really stretch all that well, and this is stretched pretty good. And also, I love the little detail, the little logo right here.
You got that. We have a little bit of hand stitching down on the bottom.
Oh, dude, I didn't even notice this. This is awesome. This is a lot of attention to detail, and it's not shifting around. This is like tight on there.
No, it's pretty tight.
Wow. For those of you who don't know what Lamborghini Murcielago seats look like, this is not a traditional seat. This had to be reworked a lot. You guys can see what a real seat looks like and what my seat looked like, and then now you can see the after. What'd you guys have to do?
Well, when we had the design concept, we talked back and forth. You said you wanted a little bit of modern mixed with, you know, still keeping it Murcielago.
Yeah.
So what we did was we actually take the shape from an Aventador. So the seats are more Aventador looking by integrating the headrest and changing like this whole bolster area.
Yeah.
That involved a lot of welding, cutting, shaping foam, all of that. So everything is 100% handmade. Nothing is pattern or any of that. I had to just shape the seat, sit there, check both of them to make sure they were the same.
Wow.
Then do the leather over it. The pattern that everybody's been talking about, that is from a Huracan.
This is a little nicer than a Huracan, because a Huracan has, it's almost like this, but this is like Audi RS6-ish.
Yes, I mean the hexagons are a little bit different.
Yeah.
But the key thing here is, like, when you're modifying a car, you like to keep it in the family.
Yeah.
So why not take bits and pieces from other Lamborghinis and put it in another Lamborghini?
That's true. Yes.
So that design, it'll just look perfect when everything is said and done. So when it's all mixed together in the car, this thing's gonna look like it just came out last year.
Yeah.
Even though it's what, 2005, 4?
Yeah, it's 2003.
2000.
But who's counting? These are the seats, and they look freaking spectacular. I can't wait to sit in these, and hopefully I don't mess anything up with this beautiful, beautiful stitching.
Should be pretty difficult. But the other thing too is when you were here, I sized you up, so I fit the seat.
Did you do an ocular pat down?
Yeah, pretty much. I looked right over it and I was like, all right. The seat is actually physically not even wider than it was. But
so it's gonna fit exactly the same way.
Right, it'll fit exactly the same way it did in the car. So it didn't change anything as far as the width is concerned. It was more so on the inside to make it a little bit more comfortable for me, for you.
Behind here is even more goodies. Every stitch here on any of this, especially this, all of that is hand done.
People always talk about, you know, nice cars, Lamborghinis, whatever, having perfect.
Yeah.
None of them are perfect. They're handmade. If it was made by a machine, it'd be perfect. So, you know, that keeps in spirit everything is as good as we could possibly do.
Yeah, yeah. That's actually what I like about this, and the fact that this car, if you take this car apart, you'll see that there's a lot of rough around the edges stuff, but this is better than what Lambo would have done back in the day. And we have new hides leather. This is OEM Lamborghini leather, correct?
Correct, yes. And this, because we picked that leather, so it'll stand up, you know, to the test of time. Yeah. It's actual automotive leather, so it can be in Florida, it's not gonna shrink. Well, depending on how good you take care of it, but you know.
Some people will know that I'm not the biggest fan of Alcantara. The reason why is I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to stuff that you touch, because you can have all your oils like in your fingers get into the fabric, and then it just becomes this nasty mess that's not the funnest to clean. But when it's on stuff like the headliner, that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, we actually talked about it, and like the whole time, you know, you said you wanted to stick with just straight leather. I was fine with that, but you know, kind of the trend with newer modern cars is Alcantara on the roof. From the shoulders up, everything Alcantara. We did the hexagons on the roof. Yeah. So we could just tie a little bit up in there, even though it's a really small panel. This piece is twice the size of what's actually going to be in there, but I wanted to be safe than sorry. So yeah, this little guy itself took me 3.5, 4 hours. So
that is insane. And everything here, every stitch is hand stitched.
Yep.
So you had to count.
Counting.
You had to count the stitches this way, this way, this way, this way.
And Alcantara makes it a little bit more interesting too, because this material has a little bit of stretch and give to it. So, you know, if you hold the machine a little wrong when you're going through, it's real easy for that stitch to be inconsistent. And now it's not 7, it could be 7.5 or 8.
Oh wow. So you also did the top over here, and this was, well, there's supposed to be a thing that comes out, but it was completely broken on mine, so I said, I don't even need this, so we just closed it all off.
Yep, closed it all off, smoothed it all out, put some IV3 on there so it still has some give to it, and then it's just deleted.
But even before we put any of this in, the car has to be prepped, so there's some stuff that's like missing on the floor.
Yeah, you have pieces of floor missing, so we're gonna get some ABS, put it in there.
Yeah.
I gotta clean it all up, because I don't want to just cover over dirt.
We can try to put in the rear glass. We'll do the mechanical portions first, and I wanted to talk about this in an air-conditioned, semi-quiet room before we get out there. So we're going to be doing the glass, the floor, basically cleaning everything up, making sure that we have everything. I bought a ton of new hardware.
Yeah.
We'll see what we use for this, but I just got a bunch of new hardware, and then we just gotta knock all this out.
Yeah, we just gotta put the pieces of the puzzle together, and hopefully we're we have everything.
Yeah, it's like a Lego set, except some of the pieces are missing.
Right.
You have
no directions.
No directions,
The
and
internet is no help.
Yeah,
as far as
you
the
have
way all that
duplicates,
goes.
and also it's made in Italy in 2003. What could go wrong?
Right.
All right, I know it doesn't look like much, but we got a lot of work done. So there were some pretty big holes in the bottom of this floor, and it's not even the floor of the car. This is just kind of a false floor, but it's made of plastic, and underneath, that's where all the carbon fiber is, and that's where a metal lattice structure is. Now, this entire thing was a plate for the roll cage, and since the roll cage isn't here, we had to fix that plate. And we also put some sound deadening underneath, so we're not gonna have any issues with insulation or anything like that. But one of the things I was focusing on back here, you might have seen me with this little grinder. Ooh, that's loud. I was taking off all of this material, this rubber window weld thing. And the reason why is because we're putting the window in, because the window has to go in and then all the interior has to go in. So when I had these little half moons put in by Tony the Welding Jedi, I didn't grind them off. So now I just ground everything down. Now everything is good to go. I do need to prime the metal because this is steel and I don't want the steel rusting. So we have some POR 15, that's gonna go on there. And then after that, we can put the headliner on, then we can put the back on, and then we can put this whole thing on. We can put the subwoofer in, and then the dash can go in. I don't know if that's the correct sequence, but I think we're just gonna put it all together like Legos and see what pieces we haven't got. And just like that, it's starting to look like a car. and the dash is in, I have the cluster in, and take a look at this amazing forged carbon work by Carbontastic. This is gonna be a very good match to not only some other carbon fiber pieces here, but we're gonna have them here, and also here, the wheel. Ooh, that looks tough. What are you doing there?
I'm trying to put the fuse box cover over so we can start putting the carpet in.
Are we to that step where we're putting the carpet in? This is insane.
Getting there. I want to get like the front wall done so that, you know, when we do the lower half of the dash, I actually have some room to work.
It's weird because we don't actually know how any of this goes. This is actually the next day. We had to do some stuff as far as we had to prime the rear window area, and we put in the window. Shout out to Juan from Lufttechnik. He came and he just did an amazing job putting in the side windows and also the rear glass. That glass looks amazing. I've never actually had glass on this car before, and it's beginning to look like a car. I am so excited. But one of the big things that was done off camera was this. This is the center console, and it might just look like any center console that you'd get in a Murcielago. And that's because, well, it sort of is and it sort of isn't. Now this is actually two center consoles in one. This was split in half and then merged, because this is the other one. You can see that this is kind of how they did it. So this is all made of fiberglass, and they split it in half, merged it. And the story behind this is very complicated, but the takeaway is that I am a huge idiot and I got the wrong part, but thanks to the guys here at E3 Customs, I ended up with the right part. Now everything fits. We tested it in the car like a million times. Now it's gonna get wrapped in leather, the same Hides leather that's going in the car, and I really can't wait. Now, the next few minutes are gonna be just an incredible montage of getting this car together. The only thing I'm waiting on right now is the seat belts, and those are at Seatbelt Planet. I did have a custom touch on them. It's not anything too outrageous, but I think you guys will like it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get to working on this interior, putting it back together, because then I can actually sit in the car and do car stuff. I don't know, what do you do with a car that's not yet finished, but you have an interior? I'm gonna sit in the car and I'm gonna enjoy it.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails done. Girls with their
Ladies and gentlemen, after a few days of very hard work and a lot of fiddly work, I'm as done as I'm gonna be right now, but take a look at this. Oh my gosh. This is completely transformed. This is exactly what I wanted this car to be. And it looks like it's a special car from Lamborghini. It looks very OEM, but it looks also very updated, and I'm scared to touch it right now. This leather work, this custom seat work, the headliner, which is made out in Alcantara, and the hexagon pattern up there. I didn't have a floor mat, and Matt at E3 Customs just knocked it out of the park. He made a floor mat here, and we made a bunch of other parts. But let me do a little bit of unveiling here. Piece de resistance. Ooh. I was just kidding when I said this was $1 million show car before. This is now actually $1 million show car. Matt, get over here. Where are you going? Just walking around. How do you like this?
I mean, I think it fits perfect. Like, to be honest with you, in the beginning I was a little wishy-washy about the hexagons, but now seeing it all together and then knowing what it's gonna look like with the doors and everything.
Yeah.
I don't think we could have picked a better pattern to do it.
I think this was amazing, and you guys just absolutely knocked it out of the park. This actually isn't everything that we need to do. I am a dummy, and I didn't bring the B-pillar, so we still have to do the B-pillar, and we didn't get the seat belts yet. They're coming in tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to install those later. And I'm also gonna have to do a little bit of work behind the dash because I also forgot the vents that go behind here, so I'm gonna install those later. This was a labor of love, but it's also a labor of time and effort. How much time did this take?
Well, we were just thinking about it, and actually I'm pretty sure we were tipping on about 500 hours.
500 man hours, and that's probably on the low end.
Yeah, I'm sure that I'm forgetting some stuff that we actually did, but I mean, we had it for about a month. I definitely undershot it by saying 2 weeks, even with 2 guys, but it doesn't matter. The result is what we were going for. I don't care how much time it took to do. That's just what we wanted.
Yeah.
Have a perfect product as best as we could possibly do.
So I am going to do some work to this car, and in the next episode, we are going to be finishing up this entire project, and then this car is going to SEMA, and I can't wait for that, but it's going to be a lot of work. So right now, it's going to be crunch time, and we have to get all of this 100% completed. Check this out. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is... I have no words to describe what this looks like. Even in the camera, it doesn't do it justice. The forged carbon, the stitching, the quality of the leather, all the custom components that we put in. It just looks so amazing. Now, you guys will notice that I put the doors on and the windshield on. This car has been to the body shop, and that's what we were doing for the last few days, and I was fitting up a lot of the interior. Now, this is not done yet because I don't have the speakers in, and some of the B-pillar is not connected, and I also have to do this door because I found out that some more parts are broken, but for the most part, this is what the interior is going to look like, and it looks every bit of $1 million show car. This is more than I could ever imagine, and I wager that this is the best looking Lamborghini Murcielago interior ever. And I got the seats from Seatbelt Planet. So what Seatbelt Planet does is they custom make these, and these are just as strong, if not stronger than OEM. These have all the certification to be in a passenger car, and they look fantastic. And they can do basically any design you want. I wanted something very, very subtle, even though this car is, well, this car is not exactly subtle. One thing I am waiting on is the boot for the e-brake, and I have to get a little nub right here. But the e-brake works, the seat belts all work, this cool little adjuster works, and it's just as cramped as you would think it is, but it looks fantastic. But one little Easter egg I want to show you guys is the fact that this gauge cluster, when it starts up, it gives you every single light on the dash, and there are a lot of them. So check this out. Oh boy, yeah. It's Christmas time. Guys, I am so proud of how this came out and how it's continuing to come out because I still do need to do a lot of work. So in the next episode, I'm gonna be cleaning up all of this kind of nasty mechanical stuff right here. We're gonna make this into a $1 million show car engine bay, and we're topping it off with this guy right here. Check that out. Woo! That is gonna be real good. A lot of you have been saying that you want a more F1 sound, and this is exactly what the doctor ordered. So I can't wait for that. So I would like to give a huge thank you to Matt and Eric from E3 Customs. They knocked it out of the park with this interior, and it did take a long time to put in just because there's a lot of brackets that I had to make. There's a lot of parts that Eric and Matt had to make themselves, and this is a hand-built car, and it's been apart and together a lot of times, so not everything fits like it should. So it did take a little bit longer than I'd expect, but it just looks fantastic. So thank you to them, and thank you to Cove Speakers, our sponsor. Go check them out in the video description. But until next time, this is me reminding you guys that on cars like this that have SEMA ready show car interiors, you guys need to wrench every day.